Roy Woods. Hey, buddy. How are you?
What's going on, man?
I don't know why I just pluralized your name. Put an S at the end.
Did you? It sounded right to me.
Yeah, I know. Hi, Roy. How are you?
Sound like Roy Wood.
I know, but
What's happening,
I threw an S in.
How you doing?
Man, I ain't got nothing, man. I'm chilling.
Good.
Now, what did you just do? You just did another show?
Yeah, somebody else's show. I don't know. This building's amazing.
It is, right? You just go, you're talking, you don't know who it is.
You're going to go in this room and talk to this white person. You're going to go to another room.
Sounds like a good place.
Sign this piece of paper.
It really is. I can always tell the guests, though, that come
That's a great
in-
impression of Roland, by the way. He gives you no information. So I said, no, he's going to, they had last week. What?
I can always tell the guests that after their appearance, like they come in, they do the show, they've left, and I go, they still don't know who we are. They don't know what they have no idea what
they
show
always
just did.
know.
That's not true.
Sure.
No, that's not true.
They take you on a maze of people. You don't know. It's no different than when you're on the road and you're in some weird Midwestern town and there's 5 radio stations in the... Oh, you're going to go to Chuck, and then you're going to go to Fred, and then you're going to go across the hall to Laura, and then Tim's going to pre-record you, but he's going to play that back next Thursday after your show.
Yeah. Isn't it great? Is there anything better than when you got morning press and like we got 3 and you're like, oh, fuck him. Like they're all in the same building. You're like, oh, thank God. It's the little victory. On the road, finding out all your press is in the same building, there's nothing better than that.
It's not the press that I hate. I love to have the opportunity to promote whatever the hell.
Yeah.
It's the ride from station to station with the weird person that they get to drive you.
In rush hour traffic.
It's always like a busboy or just somebody lower level at the club whose job is just to drive you to everything, and the small talk is torturous.
It's really horrible. I try not to engage in it.
Now, is it somebody who's like, they're just the bottom of the totem pole, so that's their job, or is it somebody who wants to be close to the business?
One of either. It could be anything.
Either or. And they both have their own pluses and minuses, because then you have people just laying comedy questions on you all day. And it's cool if it's an employee that, like, deep down wants to tell you all of the dirt of the comedy club. Now that, I'm like, oh, yeah, please, keep talking.
Sure.
You love like the minutia gossip of the comedy
Who
club?
showed up coked out and blew their third show?
Yeah,
really?
Exactly.
Tell me more
Bombed,
about
huh?
this. Yeah. That's what I love. I love to hear stories about
So how are his
suck
ticket
balls.
sales when they own 2 clubs and one's across the city? So how are his ticket sales? Not good. You're like, oh, good. Fuck them. Makes me so
Comics
happy.
are deep down just hateful people. Unless I know you, I don't want you to succeed.
Right.
Why would I want
So
that?
if you haven't met a comic and you're like, oh, no, you didn't do well, huh? It's gonna
like,
make for a good
seems
weekend.
like a nice guy. The only time I root for comics I don't know is reality television, because that shit is hard.
Yes.
Comedy, like judged comedy, like any
like Last
competition
Comic
comedy,
Standing type
it's
stuff?
impossible. It's
America's
an
Got
impossible
Talent.
scenario for anybody to succeed in, and it's not cool. Like there's a video circulating now of Richard Pryor's son getting booed at the Apollo.
Yes,
We
watched
played
that.
it. Mason Pryor, yeah.
And it's like, come on, the deck is stacked against anybody at the Apollo. And it's like, really, even Pryor's son, you guys aren't even going to give him 3
We
minutes?
watched that and analyzed it, and I thought the mistake he made, because I can't shit on Pryor's, but I thought the mistake he made was it was a little too much of a reminder personality-wise. I thought that he
the
should have been...
delivery and all of that, yeah.
The hand up, even the hand motion. I felt like he should have been more... I think if he would have just come out and acknowledged it and then kind of been a little bit more himself and a little bit more of his own personality, I think it would have served him a little bit better.
You know what Comedy Family has, like, completely distinct different styles and deliveries? I would say the Wayans and the Rocks. If
I
you
haven't
give
seen
me-
Tony in so long. I know he was different than Chris.
Still is.
Yeah.
And Jordan is like stoner, low-key, low energy, like the complete opposite. Like if you gave Chris Rock like a downer and then he just stood still for the entire set. So it's hard. It's hard, man. It's hard to be from a comedy family and not pick up some of the mannerisms.
Doesn't Damon's son do it too?
Yeah, Damon Jr. is solid too, but
He's a good
nothing
comic.
like Damon Sr. But Damon Sr. is not out doing it as much because he's got the Lethal Weapon network
He always
money.
has a fucking show, Damon. And the thing
Damon
about
Jr.'s got TV too.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Oh, he keeps a pilot in his back pocket
okay.
at least the past 5 or 6 years.
Well, Damon's amazing because he used to go into the cellar and you'd watch him at like 1 o'clock in the morning bombing. But it was because he was literally just talking through divorce or whatever. He wasn't up there hitting a home run. He was literally kind of create an hour of material. And he was willing to go on and do that, which I loved about him so much is he didn't give a shit. He would go on and just try material. He would try it and swing and miss and then go back up the next night and try it. He really went in the club and fucking tried it.
I saw Damon Wayans in L.A. a couple years ago, and he's doing that. And you could tell the moment that he was like, all right, fuck this crowd. He pulls his phone out and calls an Uber from the stage. Mid-joke. He's calling an Uber.
Yeah, I do respect that. He was really bombing.
And he performed until he got the text that the Uber is around the corner. He basically gave himself his own, like, all right, my Uber's outside, I gotta go, and just walked up stage.
And that's him just walking into a club. That's not a headline show. That's just him walking in,
it's
going
just show
on.
up and go up. Yeah,
That's awesome.
I respect that a lot. And Roy, by the way, you're promoting This Is Not Happening Fridays at midnight on Comedy Central,
Yes.
RoyWoodJr.com, and that's starting this Friday?
Yeah, well, we're already like, I think 6 episodes in.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
That
we're
should know
already
that.
cooking,
Okay.
man. Yeah, we're good, man. So it's been fun. It's been fun to.
And you took over for Ari Shafir, and
Yeah.
Ari had no bad feelings about that. Can you explain how that happened, just so people know exactly what that was?
First and foremost, me and Ari good.
Yeah.
We're good. I wouldn't have taken the job if I hadn't talked to him. I got the offer from Comedy Central a week before taping was supposed to start. So that's how you already know the bullshit. Something went down.
Something was happening.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So I called Ari and we chopped it up for about an hour. And I think everybody knows what the deal was as far as like everything with his special and just negotiating other projects with the network. They couldn't come to an agreement on that. So Ari stepped away. Well, excuse me. They made the decision to replace Ari. And so from that came the call to me and they go, do you want to host this? And I know I wasn't their first choice. Let's be real about that shit. I'm not the first person you think of when you think of storytelling comedy. The thing that saved me though was that I had already been developing a story to tell on the show. So in terms of capability and all of that stuff, I felt like Ari trusted me enough that he was able to, I won't say give his blessing, but at least not shit on what was going on.
Sure, yeah.
And that's something I'll always respect Ari for.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, Ari is pro-comedian. And this show creates opportunities for comedians, a lot of whom who don't get a lot of time on television, to be seen and to share their comedy with the world. So at the end of the day, for me, I took the job, number one, because I have a kid and I wouldn't mind paying for college.
Yeah,
Number two, you want to be able to be a conduit for trying to keep the show alive. Because what if they did it with no host? What if something XYZ happened and the show gets canceled after this run? Because they were going to shoot this season. It's too much money already invested.
Sure.
So for me, it was just a matter of getting the offer from Comedy Central, calling Ari and going, yo, man, what are your feelings on this? And what tips can you give me? And we had a really solid man-to-man conversation. But at the end of the day, I'm basically asking a dude how to fuck his wife.
Sure.
Like, that's basically, like, that show is Ari's baby, bro.
And if he was me, I would have given you the wrong tips. Like, I would have said, look, they love it when you say cunt. They really? Yes.
Which is why on
That's right. It was his baby, yeah.
he created that show in the clubs. And
Does he still have a created by credit, right?
Yeah, he still has
sure.
created by EP. He's still getting a check from it, but, you know, in presence, he's not there. And that's why on the very first episode, the first thing I did was pay respect to Ari.
Sure.
Because this shit is like when they changed Aunt Viv's on Fresh Prince. You just
Right.
can't do that shit and not acknowledge.
Why did they change Aunt Viv's?
Because the dark skin Aunt Viv supposedly was kind of off the chain on set and was kind of acting a fool, so they fired her and then brought in the light skin Aunt Viv.
They just brought it and they just called her Aunt Viv?
Yeah, they just
They
kept
said
it
it's the
rolling.
same person, yeah.
Yeah, Aunt Viv. They're like, no, that's a different Aunt Viv. No, it's not. That's Aunt Viv.
I mean, they didn't even look similar. They didn't look the same
Didn't
at
acknowledge
all.
it at all.
No.
So what I can't do as a black man is walk up on a show that's been hosted for 3 seasons by a white man.
Right.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Right.
Nothing. There was no turmoil or nothing at all. No.
Back
That's
to
good
normal.
you had to explain it.
No, I went on stage and explained it because that show is a place for raw honesty. It's supposed to be the one place on TV for comedy where no bullshit exists.
Yep.
It's, if nothing else, we all know what happens with network sets when you do a 5-minute for a late night show and they nip and tuck and they fuck with your material and they change your truths and make you say things that you don't say this. Can you say this instead of this? That show that Ari Shafir set up is supposed to be the one spot where comedians have to be honest. And I would be doing the show a disservice if I didn't walk on stage and at least go, hey, all right, this is weird. And then dive right into that.
Yep.
So, you know, it is what it is, man. And we still talk here and there. Like, if I see him in the streets, I dap him up. It's not beef.
Sure. Slightly awkward.
Yeah, it's for sure awkward, but it's not like, there goes that guy.
But it
you
wasn't
also
like you took
maintain
it from
the-
him. They had
yeah.
decided. Yeah, it wasn't like you took his gig and lobbied for it. What happens when a network does? I remember when we were doing Tough Crowd, and you know, Colin, they were not going to do it with Colin, and they were going to do it with Geraldo. And I don't know if it ever got any episodes made.
Why was that decision?
Because Colin was just not willing to play ball the way they wanted him to. And he was right. Whereas they would say things like, hey, don't talk about race because Chappelle does that. Don't talk about politics. We have Jon Stewart for that. You guys talk about pop culture. And so Colin said, if I fucking tell those guys we're talking about Britney Spears, they'll kill me. Like, he just didn't want to do it. That's not what he wanted to do. He wanted to have his opinions on things. So it didn't work out. And they were going to give it to Greg. And it was very, very awkward because we already knew. They had already begun making announcements before we taped the final episode in 2004. It was such a shitty way to do it. And Greg felt bad, but Greg had 3 kids, and they just loved Geraldo.
Okay, so then as a comic on the outside looking in, who do you choose in that divorce?
Well, in that one, I wouldn't do the new version. I said I won't do the new version, but it was different to me because, and I loved Greg, but Colin, it was his show, and we were all in the show together. So I just wouldn't have done it.
Was it just you that said you wouldn't do it, or did the other comics
I don't
also?
remember what Nick said. You'd have to ask Nick. I think Keith Robinson said the same thing, and Patrice may have. I don't remember.
And Voss just goes where the money is?
Voss literally tried to have Colin ousted after season 1
I see.
so he could do someone else's show more often. Yeah, Voss is vermin.
There were guys of the same ilk. There were guys of the same ilk with This Is Not Happening when they found out that Ari wasn't hosting. They won't tell me the names, but there were guys who decided that they didn't want to tape out of respect to Ari. Much in the same situation as you, and not out of disrespect to me. Or as far as I know, I'm cool with them. I have no enemies in the stand-up world as far as I know. It might be some motherfuckers that think I'm not funny, but that's different from being an enemy.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, that, I get it.
So I'm on this this season. I don't know when I'm on, but we taped, I think Talib Kweli was on my episode.
Yeah.
And I forget who else was on. Hope I didn't scrap that episode.
No, they did. They shot 20, so they're doing 10 this run, and then I think another 10.
One at the end.
10 in the fall, yeah.
Okay, so maybe they'll be in the
sooner
fall.
or later before.
I'm glad. I hope it's in the fall and not now because I want to keep doing the
so
material.
So what you're telling us is you have Colin's back, but you don't have Ari's back. That's really nice, John.
I think I found out what was happening first.
Yeah, I don't think they
I found out what was happening.
I don't think they told a lot of. I don't think a lot of comics.
I might have talked to Ari first
until before they even had the host. Like before, I think you guys knew before they even offered me the hosting job. Like I feel like they called the comics and were like, "Hey, Ari's out," or did they?
I don't remember, to be honest with you. I honestly don't remember. But I'm pretty sure that I knew what was going on before I taped. I knew, and I think I'd spoken to Ari. I just don't remember.
Yeah, it was weird, man. And I still hope that the show goes on. I still hope that the show goes on many, many more seasons because it is a good show. And it is unique in the sense that there's no other stand-up show like it on television.
Right, there's really not.
There is no other storytelling show. No streaming service, no cable channel has that.
That crowd was amazing, by the way. The place you chose to shoot it in that strip club was so good, or whoever chose it.
Yeah, that's Ari. That's always been a strip club for the whole run of the show. Because like it feels good to be on stage in a strip club because no matter what you do up here, something worse has occurred.
Absolutely. Yeah, on that pole, you can see slug trails going down. You're like, this is not the worst thing that's happened here.
Dude, Howie Mandel lost his shit. Lost his shit being around that pole. Watch his set on YouTube. Like, completely freaked out.
How was his story?
The story was great.
He's a good storyteller, yeah.
The story was amazing, but you could tell periodically during his set, he was distracted by this germ-filled pole because all of his germophobia shit and all of that, and he was not having
funny.
It's just crazy that he cares so much.
Try to push him into the pole. Just try to
he
nudge him in.
ran out of the club. Like as soon as he's like, "Thank you, good night," literally ran into a waiting car.
I would have hated to have had to follow Howie Mandel on that because he is a good storyteller.
He's amazing.
A funny fucking guy.
Amazing.
I would not want to have had to go on after him. Did he just run into a waiting car, shake hands with no one?
No.
What a tortured life that is.
He said thank you. He was cordial.
Yeah, sure.
But he ain't about that hanging out. It's too many germs in the air, motherfucker. I got to roll. Like, he was gone.
It's so crazy to not be able to just go, fuck it. Like, I'm going to take the germs. Like, it's what a tortured life that is.
It's good that he's smart enough to put business before it. Like, he's not letting it. He will allow himself to go into that place to do the show. It won't stop him from doing the show, but he's not doing anything beyond the show in that building.
I don't think he knew it was a strip club. I think he just had an address to pull up at.
Did he hold a mic or did he have a cord? He probably did not hold the same mic everybody else was using.
No, he held the same mic.
Oh, actually,
but he went first. He went first. He was the first show, first night, so I guess he was, technically the first guy on there. But like he legit, like his first 5 minutes is about the poll. It's not even about the story.
And they left it all in.
Yeah, left it all in.
I'm sure he was great. Yeah, he's a funny stand. People forget he's been doing this kind of like family-friendly show for a long time, but he was a very, very seasoned comic and a great comic.
Does that piss you off a little bit when you know that these greats still got it and they just chill? Like, I don't want to do that shit no more. I'm over here like Whoopi or give me Whoopi, give me like
Howie Mandel. Drew Carey's a very solid comic. Tim Allen's a solid comic.
Tim still kind of goes. Does he still
go out and do it?
He tiptoes out. He still goes
Jim
out.
Carrey was a really solid comedian. Great comedian. He's not doing stand-up. He's doing movies.
I still like Bob Saget shit, man. I do. Like, I feel like there's so many guys from that era.
But he tours, though. Bob, actually, he just did a special called 0 to 60. Bob actively tours.
All right, cool.
He's out doing...
We'll give you Bob Saget.
Thank you.
No, you can't have Drew Carey, but we'll give you Bob Saget.
Fair enough.
Yeah, because Saget's at least outperforming. Like, you know what I mean? He hasn't stopped. These guys just kind of like,
Howie just comes down from Comedy Mountain, delivers a gem, and then reascends back up to the top and goes, I'm going to go do a game show now.
Well, you see him at the festivals. I saw him in Montreal like 2 years ago. He was up there. He'll go up there and do like a hosted gala. They probably give him $50,000 over to host a gala. He'll go up and do it. I mean, whatever he gets.
When
I don't
he comes
know.
down from his mountain, right?
Yeah,
Comes down from his mountain.
Have you ever hosted a gala?
Nah, I've done one.
I've done a few, but I've never hosted. I wonder what they pay.
I want to see what they
I want to know what they fucking pay. I guess different people. Sarah, who's hosting, she does it 3,000 people, probably gets a good. I did it with Michael Che and Colin Jost together.
I love that we just figured out what your follow-up question was for Roy. Have you ever done hosted a gala before?
How much did you get? Yeah.
How much?
I'm curious. It might be 10,000. For I don't know.
For Montreal, Montreal is cheap. That sounds like a lot of money.
Not. For,
Well, maybe they're just cheap to me. Is that black man
did
prices?
you hear that noise?
Yeah, I did. Is that a laser beam?
What was that?
That was an alarm.
Somebody get beamed up?
What was that alarm?
I don't know. I have nothing on over here.
Did you hear it, Travis? You did, right? What was it?
Well, I don't want to die.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna.